So I just got my medical shot today. I got my medical shot, and I try to take my Ozempic every Monday. Sometimes it turns out to be after a Thursday, depending on if I need to sleep or not. But I mean, the way the scheduling is going this week, everything is so crammed that I don't think I'm going to be able to breathe or do anything for a very long period of time because I have so much shit to do before the end of the week. It's not fucking funny. Um. Anyways, I'm frustrated. I've explained it in a couple of posts about why I was frustrated, and it all happened to be with meeting with my mentor last week, mentor peer support specialist, whatever the fuck you want to call him. But I'm not meeting with him ever again because I made a decision to put my foot down and not meet with the fucker ever again. He was supposed to call me on he was supposed to call me on Monday. He said, I got told by my worker it rang once and then he left a message or something, but I never got the message. I never got the notifications that he even tried to call, so I don't know what kind of fucking shit they're talking about. Um, so, regardless, there was a whole big blow up basically that happened because my worker had my mental or my peer support specialist last week, not this week, last week, because the start of this big debate, which I was hoping wouldn't turn into another debate this week, which would like a debate basically that happened last week that I was hoping wouldn't carry over to this week, basically carried over. And basically, the situation goes is that I got a ride to go to the bank, which I got to the bank once, since I won't lie, I got to the bank at least once since I've been clear, for not being able to be met with for 2 months, which meant not no going to the bank, no going to the food bank, no getting transports to get food, and etc. Which is really poor of the state because I really had nobody, and if I was in a jam, I would be fucked, But the state really can care less. So, you know, but regardless, they didn't meet with me for 2 months because this building has a history, and there was a potential question of a problem because there was an outbreak on my floor of potential bugs and this and that, and they wanted me to check my apartment for 2 months and do all this work and stuff to get ready and make sure there was no bugs and basically a bunch of bullshit because of the fucking Torrington Housing Authority HUD, which this place needs to be condemned, and basically, shut down. But also because the state really doesn't want to fucking do anything in a time of a crisis. But I learned that. I mean, it only comes to certain crises. It only comes to certain crises, and then at the same time, when it comes to those certain crises, they may not step in at all. I mean, especially where I am in life now, they're trying to teach me to be more independent, right? They're trying to teach me to be more independent. Not that I fully asked to be transferred over to the outpatient program, which is a more independent program where you're trying to be more independent and you can do more things on your own and stuff like that. Not that I totally was asked to transfer to the outpatient program, but I thought the deal I was getting, a better deal, with who I got to work with and how things were going to be worked with and how things were going to be done. But apparently, I don't know if that's even true anymore because now I feel like there's going to be a lot of issues, No, but they did try to hook me up with this one lady. I'm not gonna lie, she was a black lady. She would try to hook me up with her for a case manager in the CSP program, which is a little more involved. But me and her had like clashes of interest and things, and I just didn't see it working out for either of us. But I mean, I happen to like black women. I know, don't get me wrong, I happen to like black women, but some black women just have such an attitude, and I'm trying to keep this live PG because my mind, I recently spoke on Gutter Mind, and Gutter Mind is really coming to play, especially when I want to, speak my mind to tell somebody off, So, but anyways, regardless that the woman case manager didn't work out, they said, okay, we'll transfer you to CSP. You can still have we can transfer you from CSP to outpatient, we can still have your case manager you've been working with when, that transferred from, CSP to outpatient. So you still have your case manager. Here I am thinking things are going to be better, but I mean, our first real snag with the case management. I won't say this is not the first real snag, because this is the first real snag with my case manager. This really is. It's kind of a big snag, and a lot of things are not happening appropriately and stuff like that, which is kind of questioning, me working with them all together. But I really didn't like the peer support specialist. I won't lie. I mean, I didn't like the peer support specialist from the moment I met him. I kind of didn't think it was going to work. But I mean, we didn't really meet, and go out in the community or do anything until last Tuesday. So, the first time we met was last Tuesday, and the first meeting was fucking rocky. But the whole situation goes last Tuesday. I talked to him on the phone. Last Monday, I talked to him on the phone because he called me from home. I said, hey, I look forward to going to Goodwill with you and go to the bank and then maybe go to the food bank. But apparently he wasn't very clear on the timing. He wasn't very clear on the timing of how much we had. I thought we had a little bit more time, almost close to like 2 hours, but now he only said we only had an hour and 20 minutes and, but wasn't very clear on the timing of everything. I thought we almost had like 2 hours or so, he was going to give me like 2 hours, but that maybe that was my mix up and things should have been clarified, but no, things were not. So basically, he doesn't tell me until after we go to the bank and then we go to Goodwill. And then he's like, I can give you 15 minutes in Goodwill, but we won't be able to go to the food bank because I don't have enough time. And I was like, I looked at him and said, what do you mean we don't have enough time? I thought we had plenty of time. And he tells me, no, I have to really get back. I'm running out of time. Not clarifying that, clarifying the time properly with me either. So there was a huge problem with that. I thought he was talking we were going to have like 2 hours almost until like, 1 o'clock. He's like, no, we only have it until like 12 o'clock. So I said, well, so there was a huge misunderstanding there, which I mean, could have been prevented. But I mean, the problem I have is that, he kind of wanted to go and give me his word that he can still help me get to a food bank, which that's where the problem I have is that, I'm trying to take the state as their word, and somehow the state's being the state, and because they have other appointments and other things to do and other clients and things that, I'm getting screwed because, it just so happens, But there was a huge kind of, upset or, not upset, but like, huge, frustrations because my mental health worker, which is different than my peer support specialist, they're both mental health workers, but my mental health worker opened up his mouth and said, "Oh, I thought he gave you plenty of time." So now because my worker says he thinks he gave me plenty of time, there's an issue. We're going on my mental health worker's word when there was already a miscommunication there and stuff like that, and the mentor also gave me the word that he would try to help me get to a food bank at some point. But then when I talked to him at one point, he said, "Well, it's not going to be this week." I said, "Okay, then when could it be?" He said, "Okay, well, maybe I can get you on Tuesday, 2:30." I said, "Okay," which today is Tuesday, and I there was a huge other issue with that, but so I mean, I can't take the state for their word. I can't necessarily feel like I can trust them. I mean, they probably feeling the same with me, like I'm a shady one. But really, I just, I was just asking for three. I mean, besides my appointments, my appointments were things I was asking for. But if I was asking for three other things that I just wanted to get done last week, it would have just been the food bank, the bank, and Goodwill. That would have been it. I got to Goodwill. I got to look around a little bit. I did get a couple of books. I'm thankful for that. I am thankful and grateful for that. I'm just not really happy that, we ran out of time, which at first I was like, okay, the timing thing, it's understandable. There's a timing thing. There's a situation with timing, and I understand that timing happens, but he did say he would try to make it up to me, and then the first time he said it, there was an issue. Then he said, I can get you probably next week instead. So, and then he said, then he said Tuesday. Now today's Tuesday. But when I got the call this morning, there was no, there was no, there was no call yesterday because he's supposed to call me on Mondays. There was no call yesterday. I mean, my mental health worker said he did call me, and, he rang once and it just completely hung up or went to voicemail or something, which I don't even know why that would happen. But, but regardless, he did tell me he would do it today, and then all of a sudden some things change, and I'm actually screwed for the food bank. But I tried to tell my worker, I mean, obviously my new workers don't know my history very well of my triggers and all the shit that has happened to me with my mental health and etc. They're just going to play on chances and fate and all this other shit and not really care if I actually have a moment where I just blow up at them and we have a huge crisis on our hands. They can care less about that, because of the fucking state of Connecticut. So, but regardless, I was promised to go to the food bank, like a couple times or at least once that, had to be moved around. And I was basically fucked a couple times, at the end of last week, I was pretty much fucked. Pretty much fucked a lot at the end of last week. I will say my mental health worker did say, he would take me at 3. He would take me at 3 if he could. And I said, unfortunately the food bank closes at 3. So that was the end of that, so that basically got fucked. But, the mentor basically kind of made some promises to me and stuff. And now because other people are speaking on how they feel, there's an issue, and that's not even the agreement or things that were said between me and the mentor. That's a whole other third party, which kind of pisses me off, when promises and things are where promises or at least people saying they would try to help you, and they don't. I mean, people want me to be independent, right? People want me to take Go Gear and Tread, but I have a problem taking Go Gear and Tread the last 2 weeks, and I've told them that. I told them there was going to be a problem with the scheduling of having something from Monday all the way to Friday. Actually, last week, Thursday and Friday, I wanted to put some stuff in, and I even tried calling Go Gear and stuff like that to go to the food bank and stuff, and I couldn't get a hold of Go Gear and stuff, so I ended up not being able to get a hold of Go Gear or anything to go to the food bank. But they weren't able to meet with me for 2 months and act like, oh, we can't get you to a food bank and stuff like that. But I mean, they did get me to the bank once. I mean, I was going to ask again to go to the bank because as of tomorrow, I've been talking about it on my Facebook a lot that Greg said he might lend me $20, tomorrow he might lend me $20. He's trying to get me to wait till the 3rd so he can lend me 25 instead of 20 if I waited until the 3rd. But he's gonna lend me $20, and I have to pay him back on the 1st. But to be absolutely honest, I mean, I wanted to take 10 of it and put it in the bank. So I had called my mental health worker and said, hey, I mean, I don't know what Friday, I don't know what Friday's going to hold, but maybe, before or after my appointment with the eye doctor, is it possible we could just run up to the bank really quick so I can make a deposit and put $10 in the bank, but that's not going to happen either at this point. I mean, I got my, eye doctor appointment on Friday, as I said today too, is like, my mental health worker who, after all this arguing and stuff, my mental health worker almost acts like he can't face me, he basically called out. So he says, some people said something happened or something like that, but he basically called out or something. I mean, he was in the office and then something happened or something. He disappeared, but he was supposed to take me in for my medical shot today at 3:00. That didn't happen. They had somebody else fill in. This other black guy that I seem to be clashing with a little bit. I feel like, when we talk, we seem to be we seem to be on edge. I mean, I'm on edge regardless because of my mental health shot, but I mean, we seem to be on edge because I've talked to him a couple times, not being so close to my mental health shot, and I think so in some cases we're a little more on edge, getting along, of course that person today wanted to tell me, when I tried to explain to him things like, he wanted to know what was going on, well, not that he wanted to know what was going on, but he acted like he knew what was going on, typical black male thing, like, I know, I can give you, I don't understand why you're not grateful, and you understand why you're not grateful. And we have a lot of other clients and stuff like that. It's because somebody gave me their fucking word. It's because somebody gave me their fucking word. It was common sense. If you can't do it, don't say it, But I mean, I don't normally count on the state. I really don't. I try to be independent. But I mean, the last 2 weeks, I needed to kind of do that because I needed things to go smoothly in order to be able to meet the demands of everything. Which I'm trying to meet the demands of everything, so I can I was hoping to. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going. I'm not going to say I'm not going because I was hoping to. I mean, that was my general thing, is to hope to really go to the recovery conference and actually read 2 poems on Thursday. So I was hoping to, but my part of what I was trying to tell them is I need them to really work with me and help me make things easier. With everything like my medical shot today, which is going to take at least a couple days for me to feel better, for it to work its way into my system. It's cutting everything too close, and it's just being very jumbled. And what I fucking don't like. I'm part of my language. I'm trying not to swear, but I'm swearing. What I fucking don't like is the fact that these are a bunch of new workers that really don't know me well. I got to know a lot of my workers I used to work with, for a very good period of time, and a lot of people got fired or they all quit because of the pandemic and stuff like that. Some of them wouldn't take the COVID shot. Some of them would. There was a lot of issues with that. So people got fired or people got moved or had quit or etc. But I got to know a lot of people, and a lot of people got to know me and got to know my history. So they knew exactly how to approach me and deal with stuff. This is why I hate the fucking state of Connecticut, and this is why I fucking hate mental health issues and stuff like that, or mental health programs, is because sometimes you deal with new people, and some of these new people are asinine or they're very ignorant, and they act like they know you and they know how you're gonna respond, or how you should really, how you feel like you should be treated, and that's just far from the truth. I'm trying to explain to them, I'm trying to advocate for myself when it comes to like being closer to my mental health shot and how I feel and etc. But I feel like people are very ignorant. Honestly, I think my mental health worker is kind of ignorant, and I hate to say that to him, but I mean, because I usually put like a lot of emphasis on him being a really good person, a really good guy, but the way things have happened in the last week or two, this is kind of very ignorant and bullshit, basically, of what I'm actually dealing with the state of Connecticut. I've already talked to the client's rights officer too. I've already told the client's rights officer if this doesn't work with the program, my options are very limited. But I may have to switch to another program. And I've already expressed to her that I don't feel like going to the hospital, the Charlotte Hungerford Hospital for services, because I mean, I was hospitalized there many years ago, and I don't like how they kind of lied to keep me in the, emergency room, and, acted like I was depressed when I really wasn't depressed, but they acted like I was depressed, and, had some issues and stuff like that, and they kind of lied and kind of kept me in the emergency room, and then they put me on the 7th floor for about a week or two or about a month. So, that was, I don't really like hospitals. I don't like mental hospitals. I don't like cops. I don't like. cops can be cool. Cops serve and protect us, and some of them, put their lives on the line for people, and they bust their butts. Despite all this Black Lives Matter stuff that says defund the police and shit like that. The cops do put their lives on the line sometimes to help us and try to make sure that people are safe. There's good cops and bad cops everywhere. We can't just say defund the police, that cops' lives don't matter. Um, I actually saw something on a vehicle today. It said, protect those who protect us. All lives matter. As much as I almost didn't want. As much as I almost was leaning towards all lives, but then I had to have a whole conversation about Black lives, and then that whole Black lives thing didn't work, and um, kind of going back to the all lives thing, that all lives matter, because basically all lives do matter. All lives are supposed to matter. I'm sorry to say that to people. People don't feel like black lives are the only thing that's supposed to matter. But I don't feel that every black person is innocent out there in the world, and I think some of them are just I don't know. But I don't know the right word. I don't want to seem well. Some black people do things, and they kind of deserve the consequences for their actions. That's all I can really say. Um, we act like that. We act like they should get lesser punishments and stuff because shit gets done. Shit gets done. Towards them. By the police and stuff like that. Which means because then that's usually the bad cops. I'm not going to sit there and lie. There's actually bad cops. There's good cops and bad cops. The justice system's not perfect. I can't. Honestly, the whole mental health system's not perfect. That's why there's clients' rights officers and shit, where you gotta, talk to somebody to help you advocate for your rights and stuff like that, to be able to stand up for yourself. Because even mental health places are not perfect. Run by the state. You gotta have somebody to kind of be there to voice their opinions for the clients. Or help the clients get voice their voice for their rights and their benefit. Um, but I'm so done with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. I hate to say that to people. I used to believe in Black Lives Matter. I got rid of my flag. I actually got a couple of t-shirts and stuff over there on my couch that I pulled out of my drawers. I pulled them out of my drawers. I was looking for a t-shirt that said "I speak fluent poetry," which I was hoping to wear for the recovery vigil or the recovery conference when I go read on Thursday. I was hoping to read I was hoping to get my shirt that says "I speak fluent poetry." This is going to be kind of a weird thing to do, but I might wear my shirt that says "I met God, she's black." That's the other shirt I got at the time, where I got the one that said "I speak fluent poetry," but I have another one that says "I met God, she's black." So regardless of whether it's all lives, Black lives, or etc., there's a big controversy, But I like to believe we all matter. We all matter in the eyes of God. We all are worthy, and we all, we all should stand for something and be meaningful for something in our lives, Um, but regardless, the mental health person that's filling in for my worker is very kind of, he doesn't really know me too well, and he's kind of ignorant towards me. He kind of has this attitude like, he's older and he knows better than I do, and I think he's just kind of ignorant. I don't want to call him anything else but ignorant. I don't really, because I'm not trying to go into racism here, but he's not. He's definitely not something I'm too happy with, Um, no, he's not. He's really not. So, regardless, I'm at the point where I'm making changes. It's already been discussed with me that the black community was upset with me because I'm a white person and I shouldn't be in black politics. I shouldn't be in black politics. I was supporting black politics. I was reading things that, a white person shouldn't read because it's more for black people and black politics and this and that. And And then when I tried to support black politics, some people were yelling at me saying, "Oh, you're not doing it right. You're doing this." Some of it, some of it is very clear too. Some of it is very clear. And I've already been clear on it. Is because I support interracial relationships. I mean, I support loving outside your race or loving outside your background. And some people are not open to the idea of loving a white man, which I'm a white man, and I can't help it. I can't help but support that because obviously I want to date outside my race, and it's something very personal to me as a white man because I'm not really black, but I am white, and it's a topic that I can vouch for and relate to. I mean, my skin color is not going to change. My skin color is not going to change. I mean, I'm white, you know. Despite I could be in black politics all day, and I could still I'm still a white person, But I was told I wasn't welcome in the black politics, and I don't feel welcome in politics at all. I mean, obviously politics and things, whether it's racial politics or any type of politics, it always has an escalation to it. It's always negative, but regardless, I'm very pissed at my mental health workers. I just needed to voice my opinions, come online and voice my opinions and say what I needed to say because, they told me one thing and they couldn't keep their word to me. And I was hoping that they would keep their word because I felt it would make things go a lot smoother. It would just go a lot smoother if people kept their word. People are not keeping their word to me in the state of Connecticut, and that's fine. I mean, obviously, as I say, things happen and shit like that, but, I mean, I'm trying to get $20 from Greg tomorrow. I mean, I'll hold on to 10 of it until the end, until the end of the holiday, until the end of the holiday, I'll hold on to 10 of it. But I want to take 10 of it and at least get Chinese food at one point. I don't know if it's going to be on Monday or what, I actually had one thing of hot dogs and 4 hamburgers basically in my freezer. So luckily, that's perfect food for Memorial Day weekend. So that's kind of what I have defrosting for Memorial Day weekend. I mean, I still got to figure out what I'm going to eat in the next 40 hours because all the food I did have is like basically frozen. So, I mean, it's not a lot. I mean, it's the end of the month and some things I do have are dwindling. It's the end of the month and it's just like, And of course, my workers don't work Memorial Day. They get to take Memorial Day weekend off. So that Monday and stuff, they're not even going to be in the office. They're not even going to be in the office. They get to take a vacation and shit. So regardless though, I'm trying to do what I can do to just maintain. I probably got to go to the microwave because I was heating up chicken patties for lunch. I found chicken patties in my freezer, which is good, But things are dwindling. Things are dwindling, and I'm just trying to make it through. I'm watching. God's gonna probably make me make it through, and I'm still not gonna give them a fucking apology because I obviously I don't know. My stepfather's probably here with me thinking like, see, Carl, I told you can't always count on the state of Connecticut. It's a fucking Demas, Carl, What I tell you about the program, they don't give a shit about you, They don't give a shit about whether you make it or not, They don't give a fucking shit about you, I bet Vince is rolling over in his grave right now. Realizing that the state of Connecticut doesn't give a fucking flying ass, We knew that to begin with. We knew that to begin with when my parents actually almost wanted me out of the program, But I don't know. My stepfather. I mean, it was a big thing. It was a big thing among my stepfather's family. Especially with me in the programming, that they would have a thing that said no Demas programs, no Demas. That they don't want to put me anywhere with a Demas program. They don't want to put me anywhere. because my stepfather really hated Demas. They hated the way he hated the way they operated. They hated the way they treated me. He hated. He felt I deserved a lot better. And if it wasn't for the fact that I actually kind of mentally broke or had a mental health issue, because I couldn't let somebody go who was toxic and stuff like that, I probably would have maybe changed my life a long time ago, and I probably wouldn't have been in this situation. But kind of gave the state more reason to hold on to me and more reason not to let me go and shit like that. So I'm pretty much in the fucking state of Connecticut, Well, I'm not in the state of Connecticut. I'm like working with the state of Connecticut, but I basically live on my own. I can come and go as I please, Unless somebody wants to like jailbird me or put me in the fucking mental ward, I'm pretty much free to do what I want, There really is no reason to put me in a mental ward. I mean, that's part of why I took my medical shot, because I just wanted to comply on my medication so I could feel better, So there'd be no excuses that I would be like mentally ill or something, to be put in a psych ward, Still doesn't mean that there's not bullshit. Still doesn't mean that it's not fucking fair, Still doesn't mean a lot of shit at this point, but I do got mail. I actually do got mail coming. I won't lie. I do got mail coming. I ordered those 2 Joseph Arthur EPs, Well, I got like 6 songs, so I pretty much spent like $14 and I ordered an album. I ordered an album. Well, kind of ordered an album. I ordered 2 EPs, which is like enough to make an album. It was like 6 songs, per EP. So between the 2 of them, it's like a whole album. But I had posted about that already. But I wanted to order something else, and and then just take myself out for Chinese food, and then I was hoping if I got to the food bank to have a little bit more food in the house for the holiday weekend, and to also be able to cook some of that food and just not have to worry about shit. But they say the love of your life comes at the worst time of your life, and I'm wondering where the fucking hell she is, because I don't know. I don't think this is like the best time of my life at all. I don't think this is the best time of my life at all. I think I'm really honestly struggling. I feel like I feel like some of my sense of direction, my sense of purpose has been kind of challenged, and etc., because of life and differences of opinion and cultural issues and things like that. And I feel like my purpose in life and and etc. has been very challenged, and my direction and my my meaning has been very so my artistic stuff has been very up in the air because of it. My career, my purpose of me being a poet and an artist, there's been a lot of, controversy around that because of certain people and how they feel about certain things, and etc. I mean, I might not be making it any better, but I don't even give a fuck. I'm still a white person, and I'm still going to say what the fuck I need to say, Can't say nothing more than that, I'm still white, I'm a white person that likes black girls, and luckily there's black girls that actually like white guys, so I'm not going to sit there in front, There's those stupid pro-black bitches, basically, that, be like, oh, Black Lives Matter, and, black men, but, when it comes to some black women, they just prefer a white guy. They prefer a white guy, but black men don't treat them respectfully enough. They're tired of picking up after the black men going to jail and all this delinquent other shit, that they do, coming out of the hood and all that other crap with their pants sagging low, looking for another man to invite. Well, I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, but, I can go on a rant. I go on a heavy rant, but I'm not going to. Regardless, I'm still white. You love me or hate me, take me at face value. You don't have to even be friends with me at this point. I don't even care. But I mean, I have a career. I have poetry to uphold and stuff to do, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, even if I don't go to the event on Thursday, I mean, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be reading. I'm going to be reading poetry again at my open mic night. So even if I don't go to the poetry thing, because my part of what I was hoping is that things would go a lot smoother and be a lot smoother on me without stress. That I would be able to feel more comfortable being able to go up on stage to perform for my, to perform and be able to do what I need to do for my mental health program. But they're not making it easy on me, and they're not making me feel very comfortable beforehand. And this happened about last week to this week. Um, so I'm not feeling very comfortable with the situation. So um, I'm at the point where I don't even care anymore. I'm at the point where I don't even care. I mean, I'm at the point. uh, I sit here and cough. I can drink pickle juice, but that's all I got. I don't want to get up because I'm not. It's hot in here, and what's all I'm gonna say. I'm just there basically. Um, so I don't know. At this point, I'm mad at the mental health program. I feel like they could have did a better job working with me, making my life easier. But yet they're going to request that I go up on stage and read poetry for everybody and try to share my gift. And at the same time, my gift and what I do as a poet and stuff is not really tied to my mental health program, because there's people in my mental health program and shit that kind of are a part of my mental health program that don't really want me to get up there on stage or really share my gift and etc. And there's people in those programs that have caused disruptions and things beforehand that really kind of wanted to drag me down and etc. And actually, I almost have. I mean, I'm lucky I'm still standing, because there's been a couple times already where people have tried to, get involved in my life and take me off my path and off my course and put me into drama, put me into all this shit that I'm very lucky I am not in handcuffs or, mental hospital or etc. Um, I'm probably crazy. I mean, that's a scar from having to deal with the shit. But I mean, I'm still living and I'm still breathing and I'm still doing what I need to do. So, anyways, I'm at the point. I'm at the point where I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm just all right. The cool thing I found this music box. I found this music box downstairs. Downstairs, I found this music box. The music box wasn't even in the box. It was kind of pulled out of the box, and it kind of just looked like a big, thing. But I realized the music box went into the box, and you put it in. There was a little thing there to put it in, and you just. But I found a little music box. I found a little music box on a giveaway table. I said, "Oh, that's cool." So I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. I am frustrated with my mental health program. I do want to go read on Thursday. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm stressed, but that's how I'm projecting right now based off of what I kind of am dealing with. And all I can be told is to be grateful. Be grateful that the other guy, the other black guy that I'm kind of having issues with and clashing with, is filling in to take me for my medical shot and stuff like that, because they all have better shit to do, like work and notes and groups and other things, and then I really don't have time to always be transporting me. So it's okay, fuck you too. Anyways, I'm getting offline. I'm getting offline. I gotta go eat. I gotta drink something. I literally have like no soda left. I gotta go get soda tomorrow. I mean, I'm gonna go cash in some bottles and cans that I have and come up with a couple of bucks. Go get some soda. Anyways, peace.